Hey guys, today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Why Europeans Call These Things American.
American fridge, American bread, American
Why is it an
taken on a
American
country.
fridge?
Why do we call these things American when for American they don't need that adjective? Well,
Sure.
let us explain. Hi there, I'm an honest guy here in Czech Republic in Europe, and this is my favorite series we have on our channel, which is Cultural Differences. And why
Okay.
do we sometimes use the adjective American to things that are not necessarily...
Oh, like cheese,
Let me
for
give you a first
instance.
example, and that would be a fridge. This fridge right here, even though it was made in Korea, is actually American. Or if I want to go buy it, if I go online, I will go into the section or into the aisle that says American fridge. Now, you in
That's
the
the
US
section?
would refer to it as the side-by-side.
Oh, the ones that have two doors.
We call it American, mainly because it's big and because it has the side-by-side.
Don't you have, oh, they have a single
This we
door.
refer to
Okay.
as the American fridge, because one half of it is fridge, the other half is a freezer. But here's the funny part. This we still refer to as
Yeah, like,
the
isn't that a
American
normal
fridge.
fridge?
It's in the American fridge's aisle. But the top part is only a fridge. The bottom is freezer. So in the US, they actually refer to this as the French door fridge.
It's like, okay, so it doesn't...
The most popular style of refrigerator, so that demand also brings up the price of the demand.
Samsung.
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. They'll change the name
Samsung.
whatever you
Korean.
are in the world.
Korean. So much for America, huh?
Yeah, they're
Now let's
just
stay with
changing
these
the name.
box-shaped objects that we refer to as American, but let's move from the fridge to a coffin. Yes,
coffin?
if somebody dies here and you want to get them a coffin, you can go to the funeral home and say, I want an American
dark.
coffin. Now the difference is
Yeah,
that
what
the
is it?
regular coffin would be cheap and made out of cheap
Oh my
plywood.
god, the cheap one is a European.
Solid, big, and has that opening where you can look at the dead person. Now
Okay.
in the US, you'd refer to that as a casket.
casket.
I actually didn't know the difference between a coffin and a casket. I thought they're synonyms, but the difference is that
It's
this is
open.
what a coffin looks like, and this is what a
Yeah.
casket looks like. But we, to your casket, would refer as the American coffin.
I can love it,
The
just
only reason
American
I can think
coffin.
of to get an American casket here is if you want to have a funeral with the open
Correct.
casket,
Some
which
people
I've
do
actually never
choose
attended,
that.
never heard of, or never been to in our country. So I guess
Really?
that's mainly an American thing. That's why, therefore, you would go to get.
Oh my god, seriously?
Since we're
so
already
crazy
in
to
the
me.
horizontal position, let's move from a coffin to a bed. More
An American
specifically, the American bed.
Okay, what's the
You wanna
difference?
wake up like an American movie? Oh, I'm actually quoting IKEA, the Swedish seller of
Swedish.
furniture, and they sell American beds here.
Okay, what's
They sell
different?
Regular beds as well. But what is an American bed?
I wanna know,
It's a
please.
bed with the box spring base. Now, I didn't really know what the differences are, but there's a platform bed and a box spring bed. So the box spring bed we refer to as the American bed. In general, we're usually talking about something that's larger and quite big.
Okay. The ones that are higher.
This is a regular potato, and this is American potatoes. Now, what the hell is that?
Like
it's
instant mashed
actually a
potatoes?
spice to use for potatoes to make them American. But before these turn into American
Okay, what-
potatoes,
what's
you also
in
have
it?
to slice them and put them in the oven because we're making potato wedges. That's what you would call them in US. But
Okay.
we refer to them as American potatoes. And you
Oh,
can
it's
even
just
go to the
wedges.
store and get the spices for it that are called American.
I'm so curious to see what's in it.
One of the
what's in
biggest
those
cultural
condiments?
differences in a supermarket we noticed is that our aisle with cereal is tiny little. This is the only selection we have of cereal.
So it's very
I mean, on
like
the other hand,
few
we
brands.
have automated robots that just kind of wander around.
Are those the cleaning robots or the ones
This
that
wasn't
like?
planned. Anyhow,
Okay.
the aisle is actually much bigger as the sign says, but all of this is just healthy stuff. Like we don't
Oh.
have Fruit Loops or
They don't have
and stuff
that?
like that.
That's kinda
healthy
sad.
cereal,
Yeah, in the United States that's
Since
huge.
we've already been to the supermarket to get the American potatoes, we also grabbed the American bread.
Okay, what is it, like
Now,
sliced
what is
bread?
it? It's a regular sandwich bread that we usually refer to as the toast bread, but it has American flag all over it.
So
because it is
random.
much wider and larger in size than our toast
Oh.
bread. I mean, you
Okay, what's the difference?
clearly see the difference, right? This one is also
Yes.
fluffier. I prefer this one. This is the regular Czech one, but not regular Czech European bread.
There's another version?
Bread is much better and nicer.
Oh,
so
like a
this
little-
is the American bread. We even have the flag on it and stuff. This
So
is actually a
patriotic.
Czech company that makes it. This specific one is made in Germany.
I love how cultural this
Owned
is.
by a Slovak guy who used to be our prime minister. Now he didn't
Czech
invent
Republic.
the packaging and the fact that it's an American bread. He actually copied it from an Austrian company, Oetz. That is a family Austrian company that
Okay.
first brought this to our market. Also, they sort of marketed it as an American sandwich bread. So this guy saw it.
Yeah, like
and
sliced
copied it.
bread, sandwich
And
bread.
you Americans are now just like, what? I thought you guys eat baguettes. No, that's the French
That's
people
French.
in the fridge.
Yeah,
Next one
like
is quite interesting, and it is the American Night.
I'm
Now, it is the
scared.
name
What does
of a
this
film,
entail?
of a movie, a French film actually. But
Okay.
it is a term used when you turn day into night, and it was specifically used during photography or filming. First time it was used.
Oh, okay,
in
okay.
Wizard of Oz.
I was like,
And the
what
reason
then?
they used these techniques back in the days is because they didn't have good cameras to film during evenings or low lights.
Makes
so
sense,
they
of
had to
course.
film during the day, later turning it into
Yeah, of
night.
course.
Right now you're looking at me with two lights and some daylight, and Honza can put a filter in the final cut that will turn this
Oh, yeah, it's
day
nighttime.
into night.
American
Even if
night?
you go on Wikipedia, there's an article about it. In English, it's called day to night. In the other languages, it is called American night.
That's so weird.
Now, I actually thought that the term American night is used because it is fake. Because it's pretending to be something that it's not.
Oh,
but that's not the case of
ouch.
American night. It is the
Okay.
case of the American smile.
It's fake.
And I honestly don't know if you would say that as an American, that somebody has an American smile. Probably
It's
not.
fake.
But we say that
Because
a
it's
lot.
like
And it can mean two things. Either your smile is perfect, you have the perfect teeth, perfect smile that almost hurts, it's like cringing.
Okay.
And the other term that I would use it for is that your smile is fake.
Oh,
That
no,
just don't
I
believe
knew-
you're
I knew
actually
it, yeah.
smiling, Nor you care how I'm doing.
Yeah, like I can see right
If you
through
still
you.
don't understand what the American smile is, let me show you a Czech film that is sort of a parody on the Police Academy where a famous Czech actor explains it.
American smile.
No, keep smiling.
Keep smiling.
Super Americky.
Whoa,
looks
man,
so
you bought
freaky.
America? That's awesome. Now, what did my friend buy? I know. In our language, if he would call me and he'd say, man, I just bought America, he would be referring to a car. Either an
Oh.
old classic American car like an Oldsmobile or Pontiac or something like that, or simply a big, large car. There's one more thing that you can refer to as America and not use it as an adjective, but as a noun actually.
Okay,
For
this is
that,
very
we have to go back in
complicated.
time to the communist era when we
Okay.
were behind the Iron Curtain, and probably go to see my dad at a university where he would say like, "Oh man, he has Americas. Can I have one?"
Sneakers.
And obviously they were
Oh,
referring
no.
to cigarettes.
Okay,
That were
cigarettes.
very special if somebody got their hands on American brand cigarettes.
They were banned or something
Special,
during
and they would not refer to
communist
them as
Czech
whatever
Republic?
the brand was, but as Americas. American. Now, since we're already back
I
in
love the
time,
name.
let's go take a look at another American thing. And I believe we have some historical footage. These clouds are not bringing joy and happiness because they are from the west. With the help of the wind and the clouds, the American imperialists send the Colorado potato beetle onto
Colorado
our country.
potato beagle-
The father
beetle,
and
what
the
is
son
that?
noticed something little on the ground. They
Is that
leaned
for
down
real?
to
A
pick up
beetle?
something from the road. That's it, the American bug.
Is that a real thing?
Nejnovější zločinný prostředek amerického barbarství.
Barbarism.
American bug.
Chill.
Now, since I did not live during communism and during these horrible propaganda times when people were brainwashed that West is sending this evil creature to destroy our
insane.
potatoes, I never associated the adjective American with this poor little beetle.
but isn't it
But
like
when I asked
American
my
beetle?
parents or even older people, what do they associate American with? They said, oh yeah, during the propaganda times, they would always refer about the beetle as American. That's where the term American bug
American, yeah, but I think that rings a
Last
bell.
but
for
not
some
least, and we
reason.
have to talk about this topic, is the American football. Now,
They're
what
the
you
only ones
call
call it like that.
football is not football because you're
course.
not using your foot nor a ball to play it. You're actually
Incredible,
using
yes.
an egg-shaped
Although they do use
object,
their
and you're
feet.
playing with your hands.
No, at some
Therefore,
point they kick
it should
it.
be
They
called
kick.
hand egg or egg hand. You decide, but not
Egg hand.
football. That's why
I
we
agree.
refer to your funny game as American football, and our football is what it is.
It is just
Now,
football.
the adjective American usually means good or better or something special. There's even a famous Czech movie where the actor is asking another actor, if I put two identical matchboxes in front of you and I would say that one is from America, the United States, which one would you pick? And he says, well, of course, the American.
Oh,
It
because
has
it's
to be
better.
Jak není něco z USA, tak se to pánům nelíbí.
They think it's bad
And I'm
quality.
curious to
for
ask you Americans, and I know many of you are watching, do you have the same thing with Europe? If something is from Europe, do you consider it to be better
That's actually a great
quality,
question.
better
Yeah.
taste, better something? Are there things that you refer to as European that we wouldn't understand why? I actually discussed this with my American cousin, and she said that there's butter that they refer to as European, or yogurts, or bread.
has more- yeah.
So I'm curious if there's more things that we
think
would
the
be
butter has more
surprised
fat.
that you refer to as European. I'm very much looking to the reactions in your comments to today's video. While you're down there, you can subscribe to our channel. We will bring you another cultural differences. We may talk about things that are hard to get in this country or things that are hard to get
What-
in some
what's
other
that?
countries. So
Oh,
let us
a
know
Kinder.
if you would like to see
Kinder
that.
egg.
Until then, next
And
Sunday.
Bourbon? What is that?
In the end, I usually teach a Czech word. This time I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna show you a cultural difference that may shock you when you come to Europe, and that is that you can't just grab a shopping cart. They're locked. Well, how do you get it out?
With
Well,
a
you need
coin. I know this.
But if you don't have a coin, well, then you need a European type key. And if you happen to have that rather than a coin, you can just put it in, pull it right out,
Oh my
and the
god! Isn't
shopping
that
cart
what-
is
the-
yours.
the-
It's a
Where'd you
neat
get-
trick that I was teaching here on this spot in a show I was doing prior to The Honest Guide, which was called You're Poor, How to Get a Shopping Cart for Free.
Okay, but
and
hold
we
on.
filmed that with Honza.
I have,
this
I
is
have
the
so
trick.
many
And in
questions
Czech,
about
this
this.
is nákupní vozík, but we would always say vozík.
Wow. Okay. I have so many thoughts. Like the last thing, I'd be super scared. Like great trick. But I have I think I would be extremely scared of doing this. I think like the police are gonna come and they're gonna put me in jail because I'm stealing a shopping cart. Although technically I'm not actually stealing it. I'm just using it. I'm gonna return it. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it back to my house. But I don't know. I'd be scared. Like, isn't this illegal? I'd be scared of getting arrested. But also, I like the fact that it's like a neat little trick. I'm thinking more of like, maybe if you don't have a coin because you don't like who uses cash anymore, or like everyone just has their cards or even their phones. Although I actually don't really know how widespread the whole you don't really need any cash situation is in Europe. I would think, I don't know, I think actually some countries do they have cash these days, which I think is a little bit weird. But maybe you're a tourist, I don't know, whatever. It's like, I don't really have coins, I don't really have cash with me, I only have my card. So I can see why you would need like this European key. But I'm a little scared to say that it's like, oh, it's a trick for you when you're poor. It's like, when you're like, oh, I got paid like, I don't know, 50 like 2 weeks ago, and I'm just waiting for my paycheck, for payday, and I have to go shopping. And it's like, okay, I'd be like, if you really have a coin to put in your shopping cart, I'd be scared. How exactly are you paying for the things for groceries and the stuff that you're buying? I think there's bigger problems in your life than just, oh, I don't really have one coin to be able to afford like this shopping cart that actually is not really mine. For my understanding, is like they're gonna return the coin to you. It's not like the coin they're gonna rob you blind. No, of course not. It's like you're gonna have your little coin. But then, like, you're gonna get it back. So I'm a little bit like, oh my god, I don't know. Like, this is so confusing to me. But the whole video, I loved it. I thought it was so funny. There were so many things that I'm like, you know what? I never thought of this, but you're so right. Like, there's like so many, like the American style bread is like, okay, so they have. I'm a little bit confused about like the situation of like the actually like the actual bread. It's funny they were like, oh, you would just eat baguettes. No, but I'm thinking obviously like you have sandwich in Europe, like sandwich, like a sandwich type bread. It's not just like loaves of bread, which I think it's more common there, and obviously I would think it's gonna be better, or like in Europe, not just in France. I think like the bread's gonna taste better because I don't know, like there's something in the way that it's made. Maybe less artificial, I don't know, but I think it tastes better, just the actual like loaves of bread. So I would think maybe like, okay, you know, you would go for that, but sometimes you just want a sandwich, like a plain like white bread sandwich. So it's funny that they actually like, the stereotype is that that sandwich is like the American type, and the whole like loaves of bread and all the incredible variety of breads they are referred to like by their own names, because I know that baguette is just like one particular type of bread, and they have like, I don't know, seed bread, whatever. It's just like a bunch of other types of bread. But it's funny that it's just like the one that's probably overly processed, that's the one that it's like, it's the American type of bread, because it's like super, it's like the more processed. It comes in a plastic bag. Within the difference is that the other breads are just like they're baked like in the actual bakery, and you can just like get them, and there's like in paper bags. So it is like, it's quite funny and a little bit of like cliche of like, yes, the American is the one that is like super overly processed and probably has like way more sugar than the actual like normal bread. I do have to say, a commonality that I could observe like in all these different types of things because there was concepts, there were actual objects, is that I don't want to be like rude, mean, or anything of that sort, but I will say that a commonality is that I thought from my perspective is that a lot of the things that they associate, at least in the Czech Republic, they associate like American type of things with either fake things or just fake, overly processed, but shiny, beautiful, pretty. Like it's pretty, it's shiny, like it's visually appealing. Like it's not gonna be ugly. It's not gonna be like, oh no, like ooh. No, it's gonna be attractive. However, it's maybe not gonna be like that genuine. So I think maybe like it's a commonality, even when you're talking about like the breads or the smiles, like it's a little bit like that, which I think it's quite like, it's funny, but at the same time kind of sad. But it's like, it's a little bit of the cliche of like, yes, like the American smile. That's so funny to me. It's like, yes, the whole, like the perfect teeth with the perfect like veneers, and they have like this incredible, they look like chiclets, like chewing gum. It's like, yes, that's probably what I would, maybe they would refer to like American teeth, because they have like a perfect smile. But in a way that it looks fake. It's not in a way that it looks like, oh, you know, it's nice. No, it looks a little bit fake. And also, but I think it's, on one hand, like it's that, but on the other, it's like you have like the communist part of like the communist era that apparently they do, although he said like they refer to it as that, but maybe it's a little bit less common these days, because obviously those days are they're behind them. But like the American beetle, I don't know why, that rings a huge bell to me. I think isn't there a species called American beetle, or am I just totally tripping, which it can totally be, of course, but I would think like, I think that's an actual beetle. I think that's an actual insect that it's called American beetle. Of course, it's like, back in the day, it had like a bad, like you were saying, like, oh, American beetle, it's destroying our crops. So obviously it's not good. But these days, apparently, they still probably refer to that beetle. Oh, it's an American beetle. But I think that's maybe like the same species that they have in the United States. Actually, I don't know. I'm a little confused about that part, because maybe I'm just totally wrong, or maybe I've heard someone from the Czech Republic refer to something as an American beetle, and I would just like, I don't know, I internalized the whole thing, and I was just like, yes, an American beetle. I don't know, but that's a little funny to me. The American Knight. That's so, I so want to know why it is like that. Again, maybe it's the fake thing, like, oh, it's fake, and that's why it's an American Knight. But I don't know why they would actually, like, why do they call it like that? Because I think, I don't know, like, it's so random, and at the same time, like, so weird, but it makes sense if you start to think about it, like, really hard, as in, like, yes, it's fake, that's why it's an American thing. But maybe I'm just, like, reading too much into it. Maybe they were just, because they said, like, it was, I think the Wizard of Oz was the first film to actually use it, so maybe other like film industries in other countries, maybe they adapted that idea, and they were like, oh, we can do this. And when they were referring to it, they were like, oh yes, you know, like the American Night, the thing that they used in this film, maybe that's the name, where the name comes from. And I'm just like reading way too much into it with the whole like, oh, it's fake, that's why it's American. I don't know, that's so funny. The whole fridge situation, that's so like, I want to know what a fridge, like a normal fridge in Europe looks like, because I can understand, like, it's the open door one. I think that's the French door one, if I understood correctly. No, the two doors are the American ones, but the European ones are the ones that just have like one little door. And I'm guessing the fridge is in the like in the upper like part, or maybe they have it in the back. No, I think it's just, you know, it's right above. But it's just like it's just like two doors. I think, I don't know, I never really thought of this, because I think it's just like, it's a fridge. I don't know, like, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, there's not much science to it. It's a fridge. If you like take a look around and like get the one you like. So I don't know, I never really thought of this. So that was very interesting. And the same thing with the American type of bed. That was very confusing to me. It's like, it's a box spring, but the other is sort of like wider and maybe like a little bit bigger. So that tells me that maybe in Europe, like the beds are smaller and maybe like a little bit, they're like a little stuck to the floor, and maybe the American ones are the ones that are like, you need like a little step to get in the bed. I don't know. And actually like, I'm a little bit like, why is it like that? Because like Europeans usually tend to be like tall. So wouldn't it be the other way around? Like, wouldn't they need beds that are actually higher, and the Americans one would need like beds that are actually like a little more like grounded? I don't know. I have so many questions about that, because again, it's a little bit confusing to me. The American potatoes, would love to know what's in the condiment packet, because it's like potato wedges, which, okay, like you can get like potato wedges, like that's just like a form of potato, but there's like so many things, I don't know, there's like so many things you can do with like potatoes, the best vegetable in the world. But it's like, I don't know, you can get them with like ketchup, but you can also do like a salty situation with like parsley, olive oil. I don't know. So what's in this condiment? Like, I'm guessing it's maybe like having to do with like parsley, a little bit of garlic. I don't really get the vibe of, I don't know, something else. But maybe they do have like paprika or something. I don't know. I would love to know what's in it, because again, potato wedges, like they could be like in so many different, like, I know you can get them in so many like different varieties, and just potatoes in general are so versatile that it's just like, I don't know, but I would love to know how it tastes and what the actual condiment has and how it came to be. Probably was it like an American brand that came to the Czech Republic and was like, oh, I'm going to introduce you guys to this condiment. I don't know. Maybe it's just like plain mustard or something. It's going to be something like super simple. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, a lot of different spices, but maybe it's just like something very simple and that's it. That makes it like very special. And people like tend to, oh, you know, when I think of this flavor, like it reminds me of like those American potatoes, which I love. And also like, how come those are the ones that are Americans? Probably like French fries. Well, no, French fries are French. From France. I don't know. It's so interesting to me how like different things are just called different types of things in the world, but it's just like very subjective, and it's not, it just depends. Like again, like the French fridge is like, for us it's just a fridge, but in the United States it's a French fridge. Like it has no logic. It's just like, you just like, do not think about this too hard, because you're gonna fry your brain. But I do have to say that something I'm surprised about that he didn't really mention, that I do, when I was looking at the video, I was watching it, I was like, oh, I'm guessing he's gonna mention this, but he didn't, which I'm surprised. The American type of cheese, like the American slices, the American cheese, to me is a very like the Kraft singles. I think that when I think of like American cheese, I think of like Kraft singles. I think they even, I don't know, I have it in my brain, if I'm remembering correctly, but I could be totally mistaken, that the actual package has, like, it has the word American written on it. But again, maybe I'm totally wrong. It doesn't say American like in either of the Kraft singles. But I don't know. I think that's a very good like American type of cheese. It's just like, it's cheddar. No, it's just like Kraft singles. I don't even know what type of cheese that is. It's just like American cheese. I don't know. It's just like Kraft singles. And also like mac and cheese, probably. I wouldn't say like, you know, American mac and cheese is just mac and cheese like in the United States. But I think in other places maybe you would say like, oh, it's American mac and cheese. And it has like maybe, I don't know, it has like extra cheese or something. I don't know. When I think about like a mac and cheese, American mac and cheese, I also think of like the Kraft little blue little box. So maybe that's something else that I was just thinking about it. Like I think those are like very American things that obviously in the United States are not gonna be anything. They're just like Kraft singles, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just mac and cheese. But I think in other places maybe it could be like that. And the opposite, I'm having a hard time. Like I mentioned, I think the butter one is just like the American type of butter. I think it's just like grass fed and maybe has more fat. But in general, and coming back to like the cheese thing, I think, again, not to be rude or anything, but when I think of like American type of cheese, American style cheese, I'm thinking of something that's a little bit like not plasticky maybe. It sounds bad, but I'm not like saying it tastes bad. It's just like something a little bit more plastical, a little bit maybe more artificial, a little bit more processed, and maybe those are the right terms. When I think of like European type of cheese, maybe I'm thinking of something that's aged, maybe something that is I don't know, it's more natural. Maybe, again, it's just maybe my perception of things, and maybe it's just like, no, it's the opposite. But I think a lot of people, when they also think American, especially when it comes to cheeses, it's just like plastic, because they're thinking of stuff like this, or maybe like string cheese. And of course, in other places, like that type of cheese doesn't really exist. So it is like you're eating plastic, and it's like, no, I'm eating an American type of cheese. It's just like string cheese. So, and the opposite, it must be true. It's like, oh, European type of cheese, and then maybe thinking of like, I don't know, like a Gouda or like a goat cheese or something of the sort. But I think this is a very interesting subject, and there's like so many actual things that you can actually think of when you actually get your mind to it. It's like there's so many different things that you can think of that Europeans refer to like American things, and the other way around. That is super interesting, and it's just like a subject that you could take you hours just to discuss this with someone. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.